was actually trying to time some shit in fucking Google Hangouts. Fuck. This is
actually see the live
R-rated edition.
I actually see the live gimmick now.
Oh, look at you.
I'm excited about it.
About seeing the live gimmick?
Yeah, I'm also excited about the fact that we are back to the two-man power trip.
Woohoo!
Shout out to Celia. Shout out to Canaanite. You're great people. But there's just something about the chemistry with Sean and I when it's just us two in the room. Hey, Sean. How you doing? Easy, big fella.
Hey, big sexy.
Bada boom.
Hottest chick in the ring. What? Realest guys in the room, yeah.
What?
That's Carmella. She's the hottest chick in the ring.
I'm not sure who Carmella is.
Well, and on the main roster, I guess no one is. So
there, I guess.
She'll come later.
I like what you're saying right there.
This is the after sex edition,
so we're gonna get crazy.
So yeah, we're finally alone, and I gave it a dirty name, and it's on like Donkey Kong.
What's up?
Fuck, I'm tired. What do you want to talk about? Zit thing going on here?
Literally anything other than pro wrestling. We're in the home stretch. Today's going to be. We were just talking about this in the Cage Side Live exclusive
pre-show, award-winning pre-show on the award-winning network.
No peen today, so I guess I'm going to have to get Canaanite back.
Yeah,
get Sean to break the peen out. But
I only do that for special guests.
We're in the home stretch, man. We're almost to a point where we can take a breath.
Mm-hmm.
Stay up all night and anger our significant others.
Mm-hmm.
Who are like, so can we have a date night? And it's, no.
Nope.
I have to talk about Roman Reigns and getting over it.
I have to use words I don't understand. Oh, yeah.
I just got that, you dick. Someone's on Twitter's like, so how do they get Reigns over? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Did you not hear the crowd literally explode when his music hit? He's way over. He is the very definition of over. Booze doesn't mean you're not over.
Nope.
You like how I talk about what over is? I don't fucking know.
Exactly. That's what I said. Yeah, we don't know what we're talking about. We are proud assholes on the internet. We spend more time paying attention to this shit than is probably healthy.
Yeah. We watch it.
We watch a lot of it. We write about it all the goddamn time.
All the time.
But that doesn't make us experts, so
we have no fucking clue.
No.
The Young Bucks, one of the Young Bucks, followed us on Twitter today.
Was it Matt or Nick?
I think it was Matt. I get all worried when famous, like Austin.
I know you always jump in the Slack and go like, "Uh-oh."
I'm like, shit. It's like, why are you Handstock was like, woohoo, too sweet. It's like, yeah, but I'm gonna inevitably say some shit.
Well,
they're not gonna like.
Yeah. Well,
don't follow us if you're a wrestler, because I'm gonna love you 1 minute and despise you the next, and you will have had nothing to do with that process.
Well, that's everybody. That's not just pro wrestlers. That's just what it's like dealing with you.
That's true. That hurts my feelings, actually.
It's why we love you, buddy.
Thank you. Oh, great news, man. Remember, so anyone who listened to yesterday's show, I almost said last week, but God, we're doing so.
I know. Nope. We've done 3 of these bastards in 4 days, 5 days.
An update on the guy who was thinking he might have to put his cat down. He didn't have to put
his
cat down.
Yay!
Yep.
Yay.
All right, so.
Awesome.
Let's jump right in.
Awesome. Like the new Intercontinental Champion. That is awesome.
Let's jump right in. Let's start from the top, because there's no chance in hell that the show is ever going to make sense. When they open the show, what did you think about how they treated Cole's they come on the air and they cut straight to Cole basically, and Cole's like, here's the thing, audience at home. Post WrestleMania Raw, what that means is we got a lot of fucking marks who paid like $10,000 to come here to watch WrestleMania, and this was part of the package. And they're going to act like a bunch of dipshits. At one point, JBL said they cheer people they hate and they boo people it's wacky, muggle.
He said that like 4. I mean, they spent The whole time until Roman showed up, prepping us for the fact that he was going to get booed. Like, we didn't know that was going to happen.
Yeah, and then like this is not a normal reaction, basically. Like,
right? Like, oh, this is weird. It'll be back. I think one of them even said it'll be back to normal next week at some point.
Yeah, can you believe? They were like, people on Twitter were like, it's so funny. They love these crowds now, and I'm like, no, they don't. They're scared to death of this crowd. They're
They
like,
just want to survive. Yeah.
Vince came out, called him nutty. If Vince McMahon thinks you're nutty. Like, you may, the reality too is like there were some people from the show, I was seeing their tweets or they were talking to us directly, and I think maybe there's a turning point that could occur because there are a lot of people are like, I'm kind of tired of this.
Yeah.
Like, I get it that you came here from like fucking Glasgow, but like, just go back. I don't want to hear your shit.
Yeah.
We Are Awesome happened almost immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just not,
no.
You're not awesome.
No, you like you said, I am done. I have gotten more shit complaining about crowds in my short career as a wrestling scribe than anything else. So I don't really, whatever. If you paid for it, go do whatever the fuck you want. But you're not impressing anybody. Just know that. Nobody thinks you're cool as shit because you did this.
Here's my new thing that I think I want to say now to those people. They go, well, they paid their ticket. They can fucking do what they want. How dare you complain? No, you're right. They did pay a ticket. They did go there and chant, and they can do what they want. But they're doing it because they know they're on TV, and they want to get themselves over. So here's what I'll say to you, dickbags. You then are in the same position the performers are in. You are opening yourself up to the same criticism of Roman Reigns. So how about this? Fuck sticks. Entertain me. If you're entertaining, I'll put you over. If you suck, I'll talk about how you suck. You're not exempt from it. You think you can just go and be a part of the show, but we don't get to criticize you? This is how it works, motherfucker. If you want to go there, you want to talk shit about Reigns and how he fucking sucks, you're a part of the show now. We get to talk about how you suck. Believe me, you suck. All right. But Vince calls him nutty. Mm-hmm. And he says, I win, basically, and you're all idiots. Mm-hmm. Which is thoroughly true.
Totally true, yeah. The realest thing anyone said on the show.
Shane McMahon comes out, and he's limping. He's got a real fucked up looking face. And also a black guy. That was mean to say. Shane's a good looking dude.
He is. We're just jealous. Yeah, he's hot.
Yeah. He's got rock hard abs. My girlfriend just thinks he's just the sexiest man.
He's actually gotten sexier as he's gotten older, too. He's one of those fuckers.
I keep saying, I talk about, I in the midst of like, I can't take him seriously because I always say like, oh, a silver haired, whatever. And it's like, how's that an insult? It's not. I'm incredibly jealous of the silver hair.
Yep.
He comes out and he's like actually emotional. He's crying. Mm-hmm. And he's saying goodbye. And I'm like, wow, this is kind of hitting. This is a hell of a segment. And then Vince is like, actually, wait a minute. Why don't you just run Raw? See you later. And he leaves. And Shane just has this look. I want to put you over. So Sean and I, we're like, okay, how are we going to handle this? There's going to be a bunch of stuff that's going on. There's going to be debuts, returns, all these things. What are we going to do? We'll just alternate, right? We got Andrew Swift. There's your shout out to do the live blog.
My man.
The live blog. So we could switch off doing breakout posts. I said, Sean, you can start. And I'm glad that's what we did. Because he wrote an all-time headline. Shane McMahon returns to Raw to say goodbye, ends up running the show. And the photo you got is him like, all right.
Yeah. For New Japan fans, it's a total Toro. Yeah.
Like, holy shit, I guess I'm in charge now. Like, I that's what WWE, you fail upwards. like you fuck up in just the most spectacular way possible, and they promote you. It's the most amazing thing in the world. I can't fucking believe they did this. I'm not even mad about it because it's just the kind of thing where it's like you go, this is literally the dumbest angle they've ever done.
And they're just gonna. I mean, this is the beginning of like, okay, let's just forget that ever happened. That's what that's what this is. That thing that we tried to make really serious over the last 6 weeks. Just forget about it. We're gonna move along now.
It's WWE in a nutshell. It's literally nothing that you've seen matters.
Yep.
Here's a cheap pop. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and in one way, it is the most Vince thing ever. He basically tricked his son into taking a beating and then gave him what he wanted anyway. It's so weird.
When you put it like that, I love it. Suddenly, I love it.
I mean, they don't explain it that way. Again, that's us having to do it, but it works. I mean, it's just like you said. I'm not mad. It's just fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, and then you could also, and I don't disagree with this take. You could say, well, Vince is an egomaniac, and he thinks he's better than everyone else, so he wants to give Shane Raw. And it was only for the night.
Right.
They clarified that later. For the night, and so he could run it into the ground, and he could then come out next week and say, ha, I told you so. Which, of course, isn't what they're going to do. I feel like, I feel like they probably did this like this so that he could come back next week and be like, actually, you did a bad job or whatever, and they could be like, well, actually, the ratings were up, which they know they will be because it's the post-Mania Raw. It actually was a pretty good show, had a good hot main event and all that good stuff. And so they'll use that to kick off the story that they were going to kick off anyway. And they probably just couldn't decide whether or not Undertaker was going to lose or how they wanted, you know what I mean? How they wanted to get there. Like, I feel like they felt like they really wanted a big thing. And the number one search for person coming out of WrestleMania was Shane McMahon. So make no mistake, he was the big star of that show. And perhaps part of it is the original idea, maybe even, and that's the other thing is I think they probably look at things like that, like, well, we did have this story, and he probably did come out. The idea maybe was to say goodbye, or he's an exceptionally good actor because he was actually crying. Like it looked, I was like, all right, well, he's going to leave again, and he got to do what he wanted to do, and he's a little sad about it. But they see those kind of metrics. Like everyone's searching for Shane, and it was a big thing for what it was. It was the biggest WrestleMania ever. Maybe we should try to capitalize on this. How do we do that? Okay, well, maybe we should go with the original idea. And again, I'm not saying this is what occurred, but that's something they have to do and consider, which means, okay, so there's something has changed in outside of the story that affects what we can do inside the story or affects what we should do as far as what's the best thing for business. Therefore, what do you sacrifice? Business or how much a story makes sense? And in that case, absolutely you sacrifice the story making sense. So again, I'm not going to get mad about it because maybe it was I want to think that was the case because then I can at least justify in my mind the decision to do that. Otherwise, they literally were just like, every single second of TV you've watched to this point has been obliterated. None of it matters. Mm-hmm. Undertaker, it may be done forever. That's the great thing is it's like the whole idea was like Shane's done forever if Taker wins and doesn't get Raw. And then Taker won and now Taker's maybe done forever and Shane did get Raw. What a stupid show. What a stupid fucking show. Like here's the one thing that could occur if this happens and then the one thing that could occur if this happens and then they just flip-flopped them for no reason other than Vince was feeling nutty in front of a nutty crowd. You know what I mean? Like, what an awesomely dumb fucking
They are nutty. Yeah, I would be upset if I cared one bit about the story at all. I mean, if this was a great story that they threw out the window, I'd be salty about it. But I hated this story almost from the beginning. So if you want to forget it, that's fine. I would like to forget it. So let's all forget it together.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you buy into it? So the thing is, here's the thing. I just said, I'm going to say thing a lot. Tired. Anyway, what the fuck was I talking about? Oh, here's the thing. So
you're gonna hit me, and I'm gonna miss, which is exactly what happened. Actually,
that's the only part about that story I want to remember. I got a bunch of points. What do you think that he was the most searched for person just because people thought he was dead? I mean, that's what I think. So I'm just that was a leading question. But anyway, that's still not my point. The thing is,
holy shit, take forever with the order.
So the setup was that we were all kind of thinking that like something big would, like the Bullet Club would show up and kill everybody because then Vince would be able to say, "See, I knew you couldn't run Raw." Do you buy into the conspiracy theory at all that what's going to happen next week is Vince is going to come back and say you let the Vanilla Midgets win and revoke AJ Styles' #1 contendership?
No.
Okay.
I'm not in the like people. I saw that immediately, and this was the one time where I agree with the people who are against fantasy booking. I immediately saw. I didn't see anyone. Excuse me. Okay, so I saw a lot of. I shouldn't say anyone. I saw a lot of people seemingly not enjoying what had occurred in front of them in favor of immediately thinking of what could happen next week. That's fine. But it's like, again, we have this weird thing in wrestling where it's like you set up something that you think might be cool, and then when it doesn't happen, you get all fucking weird about it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't understand this. Oh, well, maybe the Bullet Club will show up next week, and I don't know. Frankly, I don't give a fuck. Like Gallows and Anderson, they're fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's still fucking Festus and Rastus type fucking.
Rast? Who the hell is Rastus? It's like his Greek brother Rastus.
I don't care. Like, I mean, cool. Like, it's not the Bullet Club like everyone like got over with. Like it's a part of it, right? I mean, I'm trying to think of like what would be the NWO equivalent. And be like, oh, the NWO is going to invade, and then fucking Buff Bagwell and Scott Norton showed up, and you're like, well, these two piss off. Like, why are you here? Like, you are nobody. This is nothing. It's not a big thing, So I don't know that it's going to be a big deal, and I don't know.
Good talk. I Gallows and Guns
gives a shit about the Bullet Club. I think people think they care so much more than they do. And when Gallows and Anderson are actually on TV, they're going to be like, "These guys fucking suck. This is a dumpster fire." They don't suck. I don't necessarily think that, but I think people are expecting so much more out of this than what they're actually going to get.
Well, I think it definitely. Yeah, it definitely depends. They more than Styles and Nakamura for sure depend on the story. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're not nothing. They're a great tag. I don't know if they're a great tag team. They're a really fun tag team. Anderson can go in the ring. Gallows is a good big man. But yeah, I mean, it could go spectacularly wrong in the WWE.
Maybe a lot of people are going to see that dude and be like, isn't that Festus?
Well, that's my joke in the thing about the picture that they tweeted out last night is they seem to really be working on their beard game. They're like trying to get a matching black beard thing going. And I think that's all about people not making sure nobody thinks that it's Festus and Rastus.
No one can remember. Exactly. No one can remember because I can't wait, man. I hope it happens. I hope he shows up and forgets, and the bell rings, and he strokes out and does the Festus gimmick. What a stupid show! I can't believe they put that on TV. Like, this company is so amazing. That's what I said. I said the Shane thing was the dumbest angle ever, and they're like, someone was like, all serious. They were like, "You didn't see the Katie Vick thing?" You think this is stupider? I'm like, yes, dude. Triple H put a mask on, took his shirt off, and had sex with a mannequin in a coffin. It's fucking hilarious, dude. That's the greatest angle. That's actually a thing. That's a sentence I just said, and it's totally fucking true. I didn't make it up. How awesome is that?
Yeah, but if The Rock had done it, you'd shit on it for 14 weeks.
Sean, we're having it. Why must you do this?
I don't know. Everyone's, I don't know.
You know who I compared The Rock to The Rock?
He told me. I haven't read your reactions, but
you haven't read them?
No. I was working.
I don't read your recaps.
I know. We don't read. That's the thing. No one reads anything.
Yours.
What?
Fuck.
You read one recap. you don't even know.
I want so much credit for reading that.
I know, and I know you don't read them because I know you don't watch NXT and you don't know what's going on there. So, and I'm not like saying that to slam you. You don't have time, but like you could catch up with my recap, and you don't even do that. So,
I run a wrestling website. Hell of a thing. So
I mean, I can't even imagine. I'm not on Twitter in the threads, but I'm sure you're getting slammed for saying that Anderson and Gallows are nobodies from the Bullet Club when fucking Machine Gun started the thing. So I'm just staying out of it. I'm gonna let you get jumped by by your Eva Marie stands.
Oh, they're gonna bomb me for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I just let you go. I don't even want to get in the way of it.
Yeah, and what's funny is I've frequently said I don't watch Japan. I don't watch Japan. So
Exactly.
He doesn't know the Bullet Club. What the fuck's he talking about? No, yeah, I mean that's my point though. So if the idea is I'm the WWE, which is frankly that's where the money is. Bullet Club, fine, whatever. The money's in WWE, which is why they're here. I represent what, in some ways at least, is what the majority opinion is probably going to be, which is who the fuck are these guys?
Yeah. Who
the fuck's Carl Anderson? Literally, who is that guy?
He's a good guy with a good-looking beard.
He's a dude. He looks like a fucking dude. That's it. And Gallows looks the same. He's a little taller.
My brain just locked. Because when Gallows joined the Straight Edge Society, he was still Festus. That was the whole thing, right? Was that Punk saves him from being a guy who turned into a monster? I don't know, whatever.
I think so.
The drugs and the alcohol made him Festus. He became Luke Gallows with Punk. When he joined the Aces and Eights, was he still that same guy?
Can you imagine someone who did drugs and alcohol and turned into Festus because of it?
I mean, as we've discussed on the show before, I have a history with these things, and I did some stupid shit, but I never went until a bell rang and then killed everyone. I never did that.
Gino, how come you never drink? Because there's an off chance a bell will ring. At which point you'll all die, and I will look like the dumbest baby on earth. It's a bad look, dude. I don't like it. I'll order a water and be good with it.
Oh shit. Anyway, so what are we supposed to be talking about?
We started with Enzo Amore.
We just spent 10 minutes talking about two dudes that weren't even on the show.
How did we start with Enzo and end up with dumb baby drinkers? I don't.
That's Braun Strowman, isn't he? A dumb baby drinker.
Braun babyface Strowman. Braun Strowman's a babyface now. I demand to see a fucking ride along
with him lip syncing Biggie.
It was all a dream.
Oh shit!
Oh my god!
I want that too now. Yep,
I do. Catherine Zeta-Jones.
She ducks under laser. Woo!
Okay.
All right. Enzo. All right, so we went from Shane to Enzo. All right.
Well, there's nothing else to say about the Shane. Like, he didn't even show up for the rest.
He had it. Yeah, he talked to Apollo Crews with no volume, and then he said something to Roman that Roman went, fucking yeah. And that was it.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
This is exactly what he said after sex. Fucking
true.
That's what he said to Stephanie after he got that weird nut look off his face.
Some pegging. I almost changed our little waiting picture to that, but I don't know. That might not be PG.
To pegging?
To the picture of Roman and Stephanie, from which this episode gets its name.
Here's what I like. We talked about pegging. I love the fact that there are probably a shitload of people who listen to the show and were like, I wonder what pegging is. I better look this up, and found out like that. I'm not sorry.
I think wrestling fans know what pegging is.
I'm not sorry. I hope I just opened up a whole new world to you. People who
pegging is very it's in the mainstream these days. I don't know what you're talking about.
Is it really?
It was on I know it was on an episode of Broad City.
Sean, have you been pegged?
No, but I got a weird. I don't really like having my butt touched a lot. I don't.
You know what? I'm the same way. Like, we joke about being gay with each other or whatever, but it's totally a joke because I would never let you touch my ass.
I mean, I've heard all the things. I've read all the, to stimulate your prostate, and even straight guys.
Oh my God! Stop talking right now.
I'm just saying it's not a homophobic thing. I just don't. I don't like people like playfully slapping me on the ass. I just don't like you touching my butt. Thing. Anyway. I sure hope my father-in-law is listening to this one.
Again, yeah. Oh, yeah. What's his name again?
Mark.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. The perfect name. Yeah.
He's smart.
He's not if he's listening to this show.
That's true. I don't think he ever makes it past like the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, he definitely. There's no way he's still here. But if he is, hey, Mark.
He did at Easter. He told me that he listened to the one where we talked to him far enough to hear you tell him to fuck himself. So
what'd he say?
He just laughed.
He thought it was great?
Yep. I don't know. Great might be too strong a word, but he laughed.
So Enzo Amore. We're gonna talk about this fucking guy, man. Bada boom. Here's what's funny. Cole called him an acquired taste.
Mm-hmm.
How's it an acquired taste if literally everyone in the room would, in fact, get on their knees and give him a blowy if he asked them to?
I don't know.
Why did I just call it a blowy? Did I actually just call it a blowy?
I know, that's what threw me, is I was like, what's a blowy?
You were like, what the fuck's he talking? Oh, a blowjob, because I'm an adult. And he's like a 3-year-old.
I don't know. That's because then you think about like, well, oh, so Cole says what Vince tells him to say, and that's not. I don't know if that's a good sign. On NXT, I mean, Graves hates Enzo and Cass. That's so like if you're a heel, it makes sense to run them down. But Cole's supposed to be a babyface or a middle of the road, and yeah,
Cole is,
isn't he? I mean, he's not supposed to be a heel. He used to be.
At all?
I don't know.
He's an acquired.
That's true.
Vince met Enzo and was like, "What the fuck is this person?"
He just saw them for the first time in Gorilla. He'd never seen them before, and he went, "Whoa!"
Yeah, I'm sorry. Or at any point, is that a human being? Who is that? That looks. Who? He saw Cass and was like, "Wow, that guy's great." Oh, and look at the pet he's got walking next to him.
Well, that's what I bet he's met them like 14 times, but he's never looked at anything other than Cass. He just looks at Cass and goes, "Oh." And he didn't realize Enzo was there until he started talking on the mic last night.
No, Enzo like said hello to him. What the fuck? The dog can talk.
It is a hell of a haircut.
And he freaked out and ran away. They're an acquired taste because I don't know if you know this, but that's a dog and he can say words. Vince still thinks Enzo is actually a dog.
Oh shit!
He was fucking awesome on this show, dude.
Yeah,
it was so fun and cool and great, and yeah.
I mean, I knew that they were gonna nail it, but like we've talked about all weekend, I mean, you still have that moment where you're like, "Oh fuck, what if it doesn't work?" But fuck, he nailed it. I mean,
what if they don't know me like I think they know me?
Right. But well, this was the right crowd for it because the whole thing. Totally. I was a little bit disappointed that he didn't do the spiel walking down the entrance ramp, but that wouldn't have made sense because they were setting something up with the Dudleys because Bubba Ray's tweeting at him today.
Oh yeah, they just walked right by him, and I was like, "That's total. They're too soft to stop for." Yep. Why did I just go into New York?
I don't know. You're really excited about this.
He said, "Got some haters? Got some haters?" I was like, "What the fuck are you doing? It's awesome. Keep doing it."
See, again, everyone, Gino doesn't watch NXT. He is like, "Oh, these guys are great. Why didn't anybody tell me about them?"
Shut the fuck! I knew about it.
Where have you guys been hiding these two?
Holy shit! That dog is talking.
That's it. It wasn't Vince. It was Tito.
It was me.
The dog talks. It's the most amazing thing. Honey, you gotta watch this. The dog talks.
Oh my god. It was totally me. That was my reaction. We're done. We're done. We're done.
Enzo and Cass.
Hey, there's a dog talking on TV next to a tall dude. This is the best thing in the world.
Oh man. Yeah. All right. So
it was fun. He was good.
It was fun. They were good. I think I can't wait to hear him and Bubba yell at each other. It's going to be magical.
Shout out to Bubba too, because if you go back and watch the fucking segment, his reactions.
Oh yeah.
Were just so fucking good.
We need. I hope that before their contract is up, we get a Bully Ray run. he deserves a mid-card heel singles run. I mean, no offense to Devon, but fucking Bubba is great. And
I really need a GIF of him. I think what did he say?
He said, like, who are these guys? Well, I know my favorite thing was when they were coming in. I don't think you could even hear him, but you could see him turn to Devon and be like, do you know these assholes or something like that?
Who the fuck are these two?
Yep.
Or Enzo was like, you're so ugly. When you cry, your tears go down the back of your head because your face is so disgusting or something like that.
That was a really good job. I like
it. Was a good line. I just butchered it completely. And then they cut to Bubba, and he just like closes his eyes and shakes his head like, "This fucking, are you serious with this asshole?" And it was the greatest reaction I've seen on a Raw in a long, long time. Need a GIF of that, so Cagesiders, please help out with that. But Enzo was the Rock. He was a small fucking like Chihuahua Rock. Like he really was. Like great catchphrases. He's a good shit talker. Even like that was a Rock promo. And for some reason, I think it's the greatest thing on earth. I love it.
It's
like Rock.
I mean, I think that it's a new twist on it a little bit. I mean, it's very much the same thing, but it's got a contemporary feel. So,
well, you know what I think it was?
Yeah, I mean, with Rock, it's the same guy you've been watching doing it for 20 years. He's a 40-year-old man. He's still doing it. This is a guy who's in his 20s, who's got fire. It's fresh. So, I mean, that character is always going to work in pro wrestling. It's just this is a new spin on it.
Oh man, did he say, I'm gonna punch you in the head and not put your lazy eye to work?
Something, yeah.
That was fucking great. I remember The Rock dealt with a lazy eye. He's like, I don't know if you're looking over here, over here, over here. I think it's funny, whatever, fine, but like I like Enzo's line much better. Put your lazy eye to work. That's really fucking good shit right there. I don't even know. Does Devon even have a lazy eye?
It even better. It doesn't matter. That's why. Yeah, exactly. It's better that way. Actually,
the dog doesn't have accurate information. He doesn't need it.
He doesn't know.
He
can't even see up there. He's a dog.
Oh my god, I love those two so much. And Cass, no wonder he doesn't get to talk much. He doesn't know how to spell the word soft. So, and neither did anyone in that crowd. So no wonder it's like these people are nutty. They don't know how to spell.
They're nutty.
They do the wave.
Yeah.
Nutty. That's such a great word.
So yeah.
That match is probably going to be trash, but it's going to be fun. Just letting.
I think it'll be all right. I mean, Enzo and Cass have come a long way. I mean, there was a point. I mean, even about like last summer, where they were still pretty green in the ring, but they've come along. They know the formula at least. I mean, they're perfect as a tag team because Enzo sells great. He's got a little bit of pep and a comeback, and Cass can fucking clean house. I mean, look at the guy. His like swinging slams are beautiful. So they'll be fine. And Bubba will help him call a good match. I'm not worried about that at all.
By the way, I got a text from a friend of mine who said they started listening to the show and immediately were confronted with butt stuff.
Oh, that way
it was funny. Laughed about it.
You know what you're getting into.
Like, hey, this is great. I'm dying. Sean's talking about not wanting anyone to peg him or play with his ass.
You can't say we misled you.
Actually, it's the after sex show, thankfully, because
exactly.
How many people turn on KHI Live like, oh yeah, some good wrestling talk, and then they click it on. Well, I don't like anyone touching my ass. I'm not a big fan.
You can get wrestling talk anywhere. We give you wrestling talk and other stuff. I don't even know how to qualify the rest of the show, but it's other stuff. It's not wrestling.
Oh man,
I don't know.
You know why I love you, Sean?
I love you too, buddy.
Lots of reasons.
Are we? So you in the Cage Side offices last night? You gave me a frowny face with Carmella's name next to it. So
I don't remember that she wasn't there.
Yeah,
I think know who that is.
They will. No, I know. I wasn't accusing you of anything. I think. A couple things. I think that they may storyline introduce her because they made a big point of doing that at NXT. There was a whole angle, and I know this isn't NXT, but they might try to replicate that a little bit.
Here's an idea.
I think. I mean, they're doing. I like what they're doing. People. This is sort of a segue. People were upset. I saw some people upset on the interwebs that they seem to be moving right past Sasha as the #1 contender, and I'm actually okay with that because it builds the whole division as opposed to just building one or two rivalries, which was kind of the problem with the triple threat, at least the build to it. was that there was like, it was just these three women having this one story. It didn't feel like they were the top of the division. They were just there because they were there, and having Natty get a chance and maybe bringing Carmella in later and waiting on bringing in Bayley, despite what the crowd wanted them to do, is a way to make this a whole women's division and not just what it's always been, which is just a title feud and some stuff.
Here's an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Velvet Sky's contract with TNA is coming up soon. They've talked about bringing her in. It's Bubba's old lady.
Yeah.
And she comes in and helps them win a match or two, and people are like, hey, wait a minute. Don't Enzo and Cass have someone they run around with? And then she comes up and for a big moment, maybe at a pay-per-view or something, comes up and her and Velvet so that's a ready-made feud for her right away, Velvet. I would
rather have the Duchess of Dudley belt, but
you don't like Velvet Sky?
That probably wasn't realistic. She's fine. She's not a very good wrestler. She's good as a character, I guess.
What was the stupid thing they said when she got in the ring and shook her ass before getting all the way in?
Oh, with Taz with like let the pigeons fly or whatever.
Or let the pigeons loose or something like that. Yeah. What are you talking about?
That's with either. That's my initial like Matt reaction isn't even because I don't think she's a good wrestler. It's because that's sort of the wrong way from where I want the women's division to be going. But it would be good for that. Maurice is back, so what the fuck?
Maurice. Mary C, as I like to call her, because every time I see her name, I get confused on how to say it. Just because it's spelled weird. Quit fucking spelling your names weird, people. Maurice, that's not how you spell that. I guess it would have... Well...
She's French.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Someone's listening to this and they're like, you uncultured swine. That's how you fucking... Yeah.
But I don't know if that's her name because that's... I don't know if that's a French thing or it's because she's worked in strip clubs a lot. It could be either.
Is that a shoot?
No, it's not a shoot. It's a joke. Doesn't that seem like a stripper way to spell Maurice, though? No, I don't know.
I don't know any strippers.
Oh, you want to meet some?
No.
Oh, all right.
You know I have a girlfriend, John.
That doesn't. You're
trying to get me in trouble.
So parochial.
Do you? So Julie's cool with you knowing some shit.
No, this is in my past life. Can we just move on and pretend that didn't happen? Can we make this like the Shane McMahon feud and just continue?
What were we?
Maurice and Miz and
Mary C and Miz.
And poor Zack Ryder.
Are you upset about Zack? Because
I'm a little upset.
I'm a little upset,
but I'm not shoot upset. I'm like, it's a good story. I like it. It's amazing to me that like 3 weeks ago, the only thing I knew of Zack was that he was like teaming with Mojo Rawley on NXT once a month, maybe. And he never showed up on Raw. And then last night he got a fucking promo, and all of a sudden I cared about his match, and then I'm upset when he lost. That's pretty amazing that they did that in like 2 weeks.
It's true. It was so funny to see the reaction as someone who doesn't have a horse in the game or a horse in the race or whatever you want to say. Mm-hmm. It was so cool to me. It made it more entertaining, I guess, to see so many people. I tweeted that he lost the title, and I put amazing. Now, amazing doesn't imply that I like it. Amazing isn't necessarily a good thing.
Right.
That word can be used to describe something negative too, but people thought it was good, or I was like, this is fun and awesome. It was fun and awesome, to be clear. But I didn't, and with that tweet, I just thought it's amazing that the decision was made. Mm-hmm. And people responded to, I can't fucking believe this company. This is bullshit. And I was like, you really feel this strongly about fucking Zack Ryder? Where does this come from? His music is the worst theme song.
Come on, oh, radio. Do, 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 do,
Tell me everything you know. I think
radio. I don't even know. I just know the word radio comes up a lot.
I think that's the first line. I like to sing along with the radio. Like, please,
his character.
Roll your fucking windows up, then, weirdo. Like, I don't.
His gimmick is basically that he's a mark. So
it really is. I don't know how to get into him. He's kind of a blithering idiot. He goes out and he's like, and he did the same promo they did at Mania.
Yeah.
I held Razor Ramon's title, and then now he's holding mine. And all it really did was illustrate, boy, Scott Hall's had a tough life. I didn't give a shit about Ryder. I was like worried about Scott Hall. Like,
oh God!
Can someone check on that dude? I guess the Miz met him. They did a Fallout video.
Yeah, they did a fall. I mean, Scott Hall's been like. I mean, I guess is he doing? I think he's doing some like guest training at the Performance Center. He's like Mr. WWE all of a sudden.
He wants to get in on it, and he did a JBL Legends with JBL.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He
looked good.
He took a bump at Mania 31. He did a fucking back body drop. At
he doesn't look like Shawn Michaels, but he looks pretty good.
Oh shit, Shawn came out at Mania and just looked.
Shawn looks like Shane McMahon good. I mean, that's some hot stuff.
I thought he'd get in there and have the match of the year.
He was the only one who took his shirt off, and he was happy to take it off. He was like, "Fucking yeah."
We're happy he's the only one who took his shirt off. Even I'm not fat shaming anybody. Certainly, there's nothing wrong with that. And Foley looked great, and Austin still looks great, of course. But it's Shawn Michaels. He's a sexy boy. Mm-hmm. He only thinks he's cute, but he knows he's sexy.
He's just a sexy boy.
That's right. But he's not my boy toy, much as I would like him to be. And so no, it was just interesting, and it made it more fun to me because I'm a huge fan of The Miz. I'm not a fan of his. I'm a fan of the work that he does, I guess. Yeah. He's one of the few guys in this new era, which I think is like so he's super underutilized because of it. He's one of the few guys in the new era where we're all smarky fucks, we're all like obnoxious fans, but he's the one dude who you can appreciate his work without also then cheering him.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens is great, and he's a great heel in a sense, but at the same time, Smarkamania, no one was cheering for The Miz.
Right.
No one.
Mm-mm.
But they all appreciate his work.
Right.
Everyone cheered for Kevin Owens. So there is a disconnect that exists there, and I think we should point that out. It's Kevin Owens, and he's the great God that we love him, but there is a problem that exists there. So I think The Miz is like exactly the perfect character for this time in what wrestling has become.
Right.
I really do. So it was just really fun to see. It was delicious, dude. People were so mad.
Yep.
And Mary C, dude, we got Mary C fucking squaring up with Zack Ryder's way too jacked old man.
Mm-hmm.
That dude is bigger than Ryder and at least 30 years older. He was redder than Brock Lesnar gets.
But he wasn't quite purple.
Not purple, but maybe after that vicious slap, she took great pleasure. She's like, oh boy, I can't wait to go to work today. I'm slapping the shit out of Zack Ryder's dad. How dare you gave birth to this idiot. You allowed him to pursue this dream, and you let him listen to this awful fucking music. Someone needed to slap Zack Ryder's dad, and he pushed The Miz. He should have been arrested.
That's what JBL said, so.
I like how the security guard watched Mary C jump the barricade.
Well, she is attractive, so
she walked over, and the security guard just stood behind her like, well, she doesn't seem to be doing anything other than totally breaking the law right now. So maybe I'll just let this fly, and we'll see what happens. There appears to be a confrontation brewing.
I don't think Mrs. Dad could have gotten away with what Maurice got away with, for instance.
Yeah, no, it would all out.
They would have fucking tasered his ass.
Maybe. I hope one day they go and they try to run an angle like this where like a fan jumps the railing and then just the entire fucking stadium breaks out in a brawl, dude. Like somebody has too much to drink and they're like, oh shit, like a bar fight. Like if two people start fighting, everyone else in the bar is going to start fighting.
I hope that like, one security guard doesn't get the memo. So like Colt Cabana, whoever goes to jump the rail and he gets fucking tackled by a security guard.
Yeah, right.
They have to go off the air. They don't know what's going on.
Or even just like they book the confrontation in front row and there's a dude who's been hearing another dude chant he doesn't like. So he's like, wait, we're fighting? And then he just sucker punches dude. And then his girlfriend jumps the dude's back, and then the other girlfriend, and then it's just a fucking absolute melee. I would love that. Oh my God, it needs all because Mary C was like, "You're not pushing my husband.
Where's
being Zack? I'm not going to let you get away with being Zack Ryder's dad." Fuck that.
Where has Mary C been for the last 8 years? Why is she all of a sudden concerned about her husband's career?
I have no idea. Instagram. She's been on Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, that's where. I thought that's why she was upset. Like, oh, she found out. She saw he was talking to some girl on Instagram, so now she's coming to all the shows.
No, that's what it.
Where's Emma? Where's Moho Rawley? I mean, where?
Moho was on Twitter going, "He's so hyped, bro! I'm so excited for my bro." And then like, oh well, he lost the belt, and then his dad got fucking slapped in the face by Mary C, an Instagram star, and he goes, they can't take the other moment away from you. That's what Ryder did the same thing. He's like, they'll never take away that I won the title at Mania. It's like, they just did that. That's literally what they just did, you idiot. Your dad got slapped by an Instagram star, and you lost the match because of that Instagram star. That's why she was actually mad. Miz got pushed, and he left a little bit of a mark on his chest, and she's like, you're going to fuck up my selfies.
That's
How
true.
dare you? What an awesome angle.
She is an A-lister.
Right? Which is funny. I don't even, what's her name? I don't even know her real name. It's not Mary C, that's for sure.
I think it is, but I cannot pronounce her last name. It's got an O. Yeah, it's got some vowels and a T, and I don't know.
I can handle the vowels, but they threw a T in there.
They threw a T at the end, and I ain't touching it.
I don't know what to do.
Nope.
What else happened on the show that we need to talk about?
We need to talk about Big Time Romy.
Oh, shit. We didn't talk about Roman Reigns. Let's do that.
Which is interesting because, you were saying how Miz is sort of like the 21st century heel kind of guy. And that's sort of like Roman could be there, but I
don't think they want him to be a heel.
No, I don't either, but I think, I don't know.
He can get away. I think he did a promo, and he acted in a way that he could get away with in front of this crowd while maintaining his sort of babyface status so that next week when the crowds aren't that way, he can go back to that. While also playing it up to where we could get a really good segment out of it. I thought he's never been better than he was on this night.
He was really great. I don't know what the big question that I've had people ask on the Twitter machine and stuff is where are they going with this? And I don't know.
Don't know. I think it's awesome.
I love it. I loved last night. I think it's I'm cautiously optimistic because I feel like they were very on message about it. Like the announcer said the same things at Mania and as they did last night. I think Cole or JBL at Mania even said his line about I'm not a good guy, I'm not a bad guy, I'm the guy. So that's a scripted thing that Vince wrote down somewhere. And that that's the kind of thing. That's what we like about Cena as the guy who's a babyface that some people can boo is because he knows when to wink and act a little heelish for us to piss us off. Mm-hmm. And I'm hoping that they can. I think Cena does that naturally. I'm hoping that they can coach Roman into doing it.
He kind of did it last night, yeah.
I mean, he nailed it last night. So, and that's
had a shit-eaten grin on his face when he came out. They just so many boos, and it felt so wonderful that he didn't crumble underneath it and be like whatever. Like he's just like, come on,
yeah.
Which is such a perfect way to go about that. Like, I know you hate me, and then I'm like, okay, what's he? And he goes, I'm not a bad guy. And the delivery's still good. And I'm like, oh, fuck, where's this going to go? And then he's like, not a good guy. I'm like, oh, shit, I'm getting excited. He goes, I'm the guy. And I'm like, fuck, I'd give him head if I was in the ring right now.
You are on an oral sex thing. I'm talking butt stuff, and you want to do blowies?
Well, you named it after sex, and I'm thinking about the Stephanie picture, and I can't.
Well, there you go. You and your buddy. Have you heard from your buddy Greeny? He might have died after that Mania entrance.
Greeny, his Twitter broke because so many people were like, hey, man, did you see Stephanie? And he also thought Mad Max Fury Road was just the greatest movie.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
So his entire world collapsed around him. Roman.
Roman, yep.
And blown him.
Roman and blowjobs. Yes, that's where we were, everybody.
Roman and blowies. So,
in case you missed it.
Roman was so great. And so he does that, and the crowd was like, it's such a perfect line because, again, it stays within. If they want to keep him a babyface, I hope they don't, but it stays within that. But it's also the kind of thing where the entire crowd is like, oh my God, I hope this man dies in a car accident. Immediately. Like, they just wanted his head. They wanted someone to jump the railing and rip his fucking neck out and shit down his throat. They wanted it. And it felt good. And then he's just like, and by the way, if anybody wants the title, bring your dumb ass out. And dropped the mic and just stood and waited for it. I was like, this is everything we've wanted. So I had said before, the John Wick thing's gone, and it still kind of is, but I did not know how much I wanted smarmy asshole who knows he's better than you. So everyone came out. Sami Zayn came out. Everyone, whoa, whoa! Everyone's loving it, right? I did that at home.
That was the worst ska I've ever heard in my life.
I did that at home, and it's so fun. You can't be anything other than dumb doing it. I shouldn't have done it here, but I'm glad I did. Sami Zayn goes to get in the ring, and Roman looks at him, and he's got this look, and he like brushes him off. Like, you can't. Why are you here? Sam, don't get in this ring, because I know he'd call him Sam if he could talk to him. Sam, you definitely don't belong here. Just piss off, would you? Thanks. He's like brushing his shoulders off of Sami Zayn. And Zayn's like, I belong in here. Clearly he doesn't. He injured his shoulder like getting into the ring.
Stop it.
He climbed in and he's like, oh, fuck, I'm injured. So that was a work though, thankfully. But yeah, and then everyone starts fighting. He's the one holding the title, and Owens and Zayn start fighting, and Jericho and Styles start fighting. And Roman steps back, and he's just laughing at him. Again, it is as though they knew everything they were going to do, and they're like, what's the exact perfect response that we could have him do to this? And then he did that, instead of the exact wrong response, which is everything they had done previously leading to this night.
Right.
By the time it was said and done, the only one left was Jericho, so he just fucking speared him. And then did this thing that absolutely got my dick hard. he just bounced off the ropes like 2 or 3 times, like real slow, real smooth, and had like this. He kind of like moved his shoulders. He had a look on his face. It was like a Dean Ambrose kind of dance thing a little bit. Like, I'm way too fucking smooth for this. Like, he actually got in the ring. Look what happened to him, little bitch. Get out of here. And then just that was it. Picked up his fucking title and left. Held it up. What's up? What's up, Marks? How good was this? This was awesome. I loved it.
I liked it. I mean, like I said, I understand everybody who is not bought in because maybe he comes out on SmackDown and tells us a nursery rhyme or whatever. I mean, he hasn't done that in a long time. I'm exaggerating, but maybe he gets in front of a more conventional crowd and he's back to goofy face again. But I'm encouraged. I don't think so either. I'm just saying I understand if you want to see the proof that he's not going to do that, I understand that. That's the way they've booked him over the last 4 months. You have every reason to be skeptical. Sure. But I think that we're on message. I think this was a nice blend of his Shield character, which was Silent Badass, and the character we only got to see for like a few appearances in NXT before the Shield call up. But that was like, he was like MVP kind of. He came out in a suit and sunglasses and basically said, I'm better than everybody, and then would back it up. So, I mean, it wasn't completely smarmy, heel, arrogant, but it was a mix of that with the Silent Badass that works really nicely for him. I think there's plenty of reasons to be concerned. One is that some people who boo him now might just start cheering him if they're trying to get boos. Maybe that's what they want. I mean, the Styles thing is going to be really interesting because if they go heads up without changing anybody's characters, Roman's getting booed there again from most of the people who pay for tickets. So that'll be weird, but they could bring out Anderson and Gallows to back up Styles and turn him to try to get cheers for Roman, which I think would probably be the worst thing they could do. That would backfire. They could make Roman they could just like lean into it and make Roman a little bit more cocky and act like AJ's beneath him, which I think wouldn't make him a heel, but it would definitely it would push him more towards. That's what I hope they do, because that would push him more towards the Cena territory where everybody cares, but some of us hate him and some of us love him. I would rather have a true blue Daniel Bryan babyface, but that ain't happening with this guy ever. So this might be the best we can get, where he's always going to have his fans, and we're always going to dislike him. And I say we, generally the internet male fan, right. And so just go with that. That's fine. That's what you do with Cena. That's what they do with Cena. He is a heel for some people and a face for others. Just do that.
So
that's what I saw last night, and that's what I hope they continue.
Are we feeling good about Styles?
I am. I mean, I think, it's so frustrating. I understand. Like I said, I understand people who were pissed on Sunday night, but obviously there was a bigger plan in place here, I guess.
If that's
I don't know.
Case, though, that's a strange ass way to get to it.
Oh, I agree. I mean, that's what I say. That's what I said. It's so fucking frustrating because I can see either side of the argument, and I guess he's fine. I mean, he might have been better the other way. We'll never know. But I mean, yeah, they redid. I mean, I don't know that part. Like, they totally like redid that story last night. I mean, because not only did he pin Jericho clean, he pinned him with the Styles Clash. Yeah, which has not been finishing matches until last night.
And became the number one contender to the title with it. Yep. Which, and he couldn't do it at WrestleMania, and he loses to Jericho at Mania. So therefore, really, why would he even be in the match?
Right.
Why wouldn't it just be Jericho?
Yep.
Kevin Owens also wanted to get in the match. He lost his title in a match and was hurt. The other dude they tried to put in to the match couldn't even fucking make it because he was hurt. What a weird ass number one contender match.
Well, that's why
none of you deserve to be here.
That's why Shane only got to run it for a week.
Yeah, and then a dude who hasn't been on TV forever also got a number one contender match. They word, so your show's up. Do it again.
Ah! Yep. With the fucking tearaway suit, motherfuckers. That's how badass this motherfucker is. He comes out with some sunglasses on. Crowd's going crazy. We're like, why are you wearing a suit, Mr. Cesaro? And he's like, bam! I'm naked.
Why are you wearing a suit? Because bam!
Yep.
He just tears it because I'm Jason Statham, but
fucking A.
Yeah.
So, and then he lost. So.
And then we'll move on. So
it's the Cesaro experience in a nutshell.
Why are you wearing a suit, Cesaro? So I can sex you up. That's right.
I'm gonna sex you up. What was that? Color Me Bad? Was that Color Me Bad? You were probably 2 when that song came out.
I was gonna say I'm not 50 years old. So what? Your boy's back. Are you happy about this?
I mean, I like to watch him wrestle, so I'm sure I will be frustrated that he sort of resigned. I mean, whatever. I mean, I'm glad he's back. He's a guy that I just like watching work, and so I'm gonna get to watch him work again. So that's good.
He was fun. Yeah. Didn't look like he was restricted at all.
Nope.
Did all of his spots, got all his stuff in, the elbows in the corners, and made it really fun. It was a really fun match. Fatal 4-way matches are typically garbage because there's, that's just the way you have to lay the match out. But how cool was it in so many ways that we got a Cesaro, Owens, Styles, Jericho main event, number one contender match. I mean, there was a lot about this show that you could say you didn't like, and the future doesn't look bright and all that stuff. I actually feel like they did a lot to build to a future that looks different than what we've been used to. Mm-hmm. The Authority was nowhere to be found. Undertaker was nowhere to be found. The Rock was nowhere to be found. Brock Lesnar. Even Dean Ambrose wasn't there. John Cena wasn't there. Yeah. So all these people, Foley, Austin, Michaels, all these old fucks, we had a babyface Wyatt family. AJ Styles is number one contender. Enzo and Cass are on the roster. Apollo Crews was called up. Baron Corbin doesn't know how countouts work.
Your fault, referee.
Yeah, and then he's like, "What? Did you seriously? This is on you. Like, this is totally on you. I'm gonna fucking murder Dolph Ziggler and blame you because I don't know how numbers work."
He doesn't care.
That's what they're like. Does he really not know? And I'm like, I think it's possible the ref, because they're told to just do what you're supposed to. Yep. If they don't kick out, count the fucking pin. It's the same kind of thing. Count to 10. What are you just gonna stop? Just do your job. And then Corbin's like, he turns around, he's like, why did you just do that? Like he thought he'd save him. Like fucking like Sid Vicious doing a promo, fucking it up, and Jim Ross like, we're live, buddy. Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry. Let me do that again. This isn't a pre-tape, dude. We can't just redo this. Here's my question, I guess, as far as Corbin goes. Were you upset with the way the booking was? Were you upset that they didn't just give him a win? Because, I mean, you don't need to protect Ziggler, but in a way they did, I guess, but in a way not. I mean, how'd you feel?
Well, I mean, it did irk me. I mean, I wasn't like pissed, but it's weird. I mean, especially since they set Cruz up with a squash. They gave Sasha a squash, really, which was nice. Shout out to KM Tierney, who did a good fan post I promoted this morning about the importance of squash matches. So it was weird that Baron got the 50-50, the full-on 50-50 booking with the count-out and everything. I guess they figure since he won the night before, they could do that with him now. I don't understand what they think Dolph Ziggler is. I mean, and I've felt this way for 2 years, and I don't mean that as a knock. I'm not the big fan of the guy, but I don't mean that as a slam on him. But they book him like he's a fucking former world champ, and he was this last man to survive at the Survivor Series where Sting debuted, and other times he's a fucking jabroni, and it's weird. So why? So last night we had to protect it. Like, this would be a perfect time to just have him lose, and I don't think it would change the Dolph Ziggler character or the story at all.
Yeah,
but they decided not to do that, and I don't know what the end. I mean, like, why couldn't he lose here? I would like an answer to that question.
It's a good question. It's valid. It's I don't know what they think he is. A mop, I guess. I mean, I don't.
Harry Saturn?
He looks like that. I mean, his hair.
I will make fun of him for that, because for a second I thought he was bleeding, and then I looked and I realized, oh, this douchebag just dyed his hair pink.
So I don't know. It's not the kind of thing too where it's like, I think sometimes we get a little too caught up on those things where it's like, why couldn't he just win? And I can't believe they're not letting this person win. And whether or not someone wins, it's like such a mark argument. Yeah. And I don't, again, we talk about the word mark and all that stuff. We don't need to qualify these things, but yeah, it feels kind of strange to do that. At the same time, I guess, I didn't necessarily feel like they hurt him.
Who, Baron or Dolph?
Baron.
Oh no, I don't think so either.
Even looking at it this way.
No, I mean he looks like what he is, which is an angry guy who sort of overestimates his own skills, and
he used a line I've used on this show. I can remember a time when Swift was doing the CSL thing, and I was like, Swift's his name, and if it is, I don't really care, and if it's not, I don't really care. And Corbin got on the mic and he's like, for all of you who don't know who I am, I don't care. I was like, fuck yes, dude. That's an awesome fucking line. First of all, it's funny, right? Because you're totally expecting something else. And then he's like, I don't give a shit if you don't know who I am. Just like I don't give a shit what Swift's name is. So I was like, I'm in. As soon as he said that, I was like, I'm in. This is great. Yep. So I'm still looking forward to everything he can bring on the main roster. I don't know where he'll go or what he'll do. I don't give a shit about Apollo Crews.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing, and I agree with you. I mean, and I actively have to try to, like, just enjoy what is on the screen and not worry about what it means for the future and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But I mean, last night, the thought that stuck with me is, Jesus, this is a lot of call-ups at once. I mean, because I feel some of these guys we know. I mean, the guy Crews squashed is a good example of, we've called a guy up just because we didn't have anything to do with him at NXT, but we don't have anything to do with him here either. And one or two of these guys is going to be in that same boat in 6 months.
Well, if you didn't like it, blame Shane McMahon.
Well, there's change. He brought
change. It's his fucking fault. Well, I guess maybe Triple H.
I can't blame him because he just showed up to say goodbye. He probably had a concussion or something, and his dad just was like, all right, run it. And, he didn't know what he was doing.
The board of directors is like, Vince, let me get this straight. The show goes on the air, and then you just put a new guy in charge? Did he just book the card on the fly as soon as he got back to Gorilla? Fuck happened here? That's a funny, like, I think Lance Storm brought that up. Like, so what, did you not have any matches planned? Did Shane have to just go backstage and be like, fuck, I got to come up with a whole show now? How do they know what to shoot?
Well, they did know. I mean, they had already announced New Day League of Nations, right? So they knew that was, so that's why that went first, because that was already
Shane
set.
Just like, I'm cool with that. Let it ride.
Exactly. Yeah. He's like, well, I need a couple minutes to figure out the rest of the night, so you guys just go out there. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Take that bootio with you. There's a bootio laying around. Yeah.
It's a big ass bootio. It's magical though, is what I heard. So.
Big ass booty. Oh.
I didn't even think about that.
I love
so the Wyatts, they're baby faces now. So the Rock showed them the light, and now they're going to beat up League of Nations.
Your segues have gotten awful.
Well, one of the things I used to be proud of about CSL was that we always came in at about an hour. And lately, we've just been fucking gabbing our fucking faces off, and it's almost, an hour and a half again. And
no, it's not. We started late. It's just about an hour right now.
Well,
and I'm just gonna say, let's talk about the last thing from the show. Is worth talking about, and then we can go.
All right.
Let's talk about the women.
Well, you got to fucking make fun of my segues,
Sean. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Okay.
You don't want to talk about Bray Wyatt's babyface?
No.
You don't want to talk about Wade Barrett getting beaten out of the League of Nations?
Not even a little bit. So,
no,
so the women.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed today that I'm catching a little bit of heat, not as much as I assumed I would, for my take on the segment. And I thought, again, I don't think they were being sexist. I don't think this is a sexist angle.
I gotta go read that, man. What?
I don't know. I'll bring you up to date. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
I'm funny.
You really are. Don't. So I don't
that's
think
nice because when I say that, my wife usually goes, "No, you're not." So I'm glad. Thank you. That's why I love you, because you validate me, and she just tears me down.
Positive reinforcement. I think
you build me up, and she brings me back down to earth. So anyway.
So I don't think there was no sexism at play here. I don't think, and I don't even think that they were meaning for it to be what it ultimately was. But, they introduced a new women's championship, and it's this big, huge moment, this breakthrough moment, and Stephanie says, all our performers are going to be called superstars now. We're not going to do the Divas thing. We're not going to, differentiate with this ugly ass butterfly belt. And, they didn't even make it pink, made it red, so they avoided even that kind of a pitfall. I mean, they did everything correct here. I don't know that they even considered. I think they probably didn't. They probably just thought it's a heel manager dynamic with a wrestler. The heel manager helps that wrestler win. We hate them for it, therefore, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's not a bad thing. It's a fine angle. However, it's just sort of, what do you like to say, meta. Mm-hmm. When you look at it that way and go, okay, so Charlotte is literally saying, the only reason I am the women's champion, I am where I am today because of a man. She's literally only kept her title because of a man. She's literally only gotten to where she is now because of a man. Again, don't think they intended to make it this way, but it is that way. And I think the whole thing behind all of this women's revolution stuff is that that's not the case, that they are here because they deserve to be here, because they work just as hard and they're just as good as everyone else, and they don't need men to prop them up to make them that good. However, the champion, the fucking flag bearer, that's exactly the case. And then you have a ring full of people and no one gives a shit. They all stormed out. Oh man, I'm going to make a statement and just leave the ring. It just felt very, when I thought of that, this kind of sucks. I mean, am I way off?
No, I don't think you're way off.
And then to finish that off real quick, the story they went into was Natalya. So they're going to go back to the Natalya thing, and guess what they immediately played up? The bloodlines. Yeah. So are we going to do like we did in NXT and bring in Bret Hart, another man? We're going to talk about it's all about their family. It's all about the dads, or who the people they're related to, or dad's actually at the anvil, which I was hoping he'd show up and get hungry and forget his manners.
But I mean, I don't even watch Total Divas, and I know that we probably don't want Anvil showing up.
He's got a keg.
I don't know if he can make it down the ramp without having a heart attack. So
that's mean. The Anvil's a good dude.
I know he's. I mean, and I don't mean this as a joke at all. Is he sober these days? I don't watch Total Divas.
He's very red.
He's had some problems with.
He's very red. He's a big guy. He appears to be in poor health. I don't know if he is.
I mean, he's never in any WWE stuff except for Total Divas, which I think that all the stuff that he's at happens at their house, right?
Yeah, it's because the camera showed up.
He's not in the he's not in the WWE fold. So
I don't mean this to sound like, again, I'm not trying to be mean, but he acts the way someone acts if they've been doing crystal meth.
Right. That's what. Yeah, I know. Right, that's what I'm saying.
There was that thing. He'll talk quickly.
There was a video that went around a few years back where he was like with Bret Hart somewhere, and they were trying to talk to Bret, and he was like bugging out. Yeah, he was like bugging out and interrupting people, and that definitely looked like he was cranked up. So
yeah, it's if you've ever seen someone on crystal meth, it's a terrifying thing.
So
and he looks at all times. He looks like he's been doing. Not that he has been. I don't know, and it
right,
could
exactly.
just be from years of whatever. But yeah. So anyway, they'll probably bring Bret in, or it looks like at least that's maybe the idea. And it worked in NXT, and we didn't have that thought in NXT. Certainly, I didn't hear anybody saying that in NXT, where it's like, oh, we're just going to give the credit to the dads, or at least I don't remember that. Although, as you pointed out, I don't watch that program. But again, I just felt like it was okay. So we're doing this thing where it's all about the women, and but it's not really all about them. It's all about the men who help them get to where they want to go, and that kind of doesn't feel so good. Now, what do you think?
I think you're right. I don't think that they intended it that way. I think they're not very. I don't know what the right word is. They're not terribly self-aware about this kind of stuff. They do accidentally sexist and racist things all the time. Less than they used to, though. I'll give them credit for that. But so I don't think that there's an intentional thing there. I think they do just think that this is heel heat, and and I do kind of like, because it does get that reaction from me. Like, I was thinking watching that segment when Sasha walked out and then everybody followed, because they set it up where you think Charlotte is going to maybe give credit to her opponents, and instead she gives credit to her father, which is, I thought was a good, I sort of went, oh, fuck you, which is what you're supposed to think about the heel.
Yeah.
So, I think it's an unfortunate side effect, I guess. And I think my stance hasn't changed from Mania, which is the important thing is that Rick and Charlotte have to get their fucking comeuppance, and then we need to move on to the next. And then the next champion can't have a male backer who she gives credit to.
I think it's clear that Natalya is not the person who's going to do
No,
that.
I think, like I said, I think this is to sort of fill out some time, and I like it because I think it builds the whole division instead of just the one rivalry, like I said earlier. So
I think it's entirely possible they're sold on Charlotte, and they're just going to keep letting her do her thing.
I don't think there's any. I'm kind of getting sold on Charlotte. She's in a tough spot in that she's being asked to do the same thing that she's being asked to do more than Reigns is, actually, because she's being asked to play a clear-cut heel on television, but also be this public relations person who goes on the Today Show because on the Today Show interview, she puts over Sasha and Becky, and then she's got to come in the ring. So she's trying to do the Stephanie McMahon thing, like play two different characters. And she's learning on the fly. So, people were slamming her for her promo not being on point last night, but that crowd's insane. They're fucking chanting for Bayley. Shut the fuck up. And I love Bayley. Shut the fuck up, though. And so she's trying to, shift gears from being the spokeswoman for this revolution to women from divas, deal with that crowd, and then shift on a dime and be a heel. That's tricky for somebody who's only been in the wrestling business for 2 or 3 years.
I think it's actually probably a good. We could give them credit for turning her heel, knowing she was going to have to do that, but knowing also that her babyface run wasn't working. They could get more out of it by turning her heel and then having her straddle that line. It's interesting to hear you say you thought she was pretty good last night and that she's getting better. I agree she's getting better. I'm not a fan. Right. But I agree she's getting better. And I think there's definitely money to be made with what she's doing now. Right. I totally disagree with the idea that she was good last night as far as her promo went.
Good is too strong a word. I just didn't think she was brutally bad or anything.
I don't think she was brutally bad. I would say she didn't handle it well. Roman handled it with just.
Roman didn't have to say anything, though. Charlotte had a fucking speech she had to get through.
Well, no, he didn't. He didn't have to do the big. That's true, and maybe he was great. She
had to carry a segment with talking. He did. I'm not knocking what he did, but he got to say a few words and then react. That's different from what they asked Charlotte to do.
He had to do it in such a way that it played off what the crowd was doing, and she was okay. Here's what the crowd is doing. And you're right.
I also think that they knew what the crowd was going to do to Roman. I don't think they thought that they were. I think they thought that people were.
They had to know the Bayley chance would happen.
I don't think so. Like that, I don't. I think they thought that people were going to be just. Because look at all the positive press they've gotten about the shift from divas to women. I think they thought people were just going to embrace that. I don't think they were going to make it about. I think they were legitimately surprised that they made it about somebody else at that point. Maybe once she does the heel pivot or something. But because I thought that was one of the worst moments of the crowd all night. And like I said, I love Bayley. But let them do this ceremony before you start chanting for somebody who's not even there.
You know what it feels like? It feels very much to me like if Bayley was there, they would have just chanted for some other person who wasn't.
Exactly. Yeah,
whoever's not there, we'll chant for that person.
Yep. And Bayley has the fun songs. This was all about themselves. It wasn't even really about Bayley.
Yeah. And it's funny, too, because there's still very much a fear that Bayley will not succeed on the main roster for a variety of reasons. And I don't know that this crowd is the right crowd to be the gauge for something like that. So I'm kind of glad they didn't debut her here. Would have been a big pop, but I don't know that it would have been the right thing to do. In fact, I think it would have been the wrong thing. But I thought Charlotte didn't handle it so well. I don't want to act like, again, I think you're right, Reigns didn't have the same sort of situation looking at him. He didn't have to give a long promo and have a spot where he could stumble. But, I mean, at one point she, like, started singing, trying to figure out the next lyric.
Yeah.
And she went in like, don't go with these people. You need to shut them the fuck down. Like, you know how Stephanie would be out there, and you know Stephanie would do anything to fucking shut them up. And there's ways to shut them up.
Well, really, but nobody heels. Yeah, well, Jericho's a great heel, and he fucked it up.
That's true. He's like, I'll never say another word if you keep going.
And then he said it a second later. Yeah.
Wait, if I did that, we're never getting out of here. Like, let's. Owens on the commercial break, the next person who does the wave or whatever. If you love Michael Cole, say this or do the wave or something, and then everyone stops. So I don't know what to do in that situation. I've never been in it, so I don't. Again, I'm like whatever, but she just didn't handle it very well. When she did go into her promo, she still has a problem with delivery. She still has a problem with yelling way too fucking loud. It just doesn't come across nearly as well as so many others. But then I think that about Sasha Banks. I'm not like Mr. sold on Sasha as far as her weird inflections when she speaks. You could even say about Becky. Becky kind of has the same problem. Fuck everyone.
Well, I mean, it's the WWE promo style. They all do it. Really, I mean, it's not just the women either.
It feels like it's a lot more awkward. I mean, Reigns has that problem. For a long time, Rollins did, and I feel like he corrected that. Rollins, I think he deserves some credit for. At first, he was awful with it, and then he got much better. But they let him do it a lot, and that's the problem with the women is they don't ever get the chance to hone that. We don't get to watch them go through the growing pains, which is what we are getting to watch with Charlotte. Mm-hmm. So in a sense, this was not a bad thing because here's a situation you're only going to get here. So in a way, it's like you can learn from this. You're not going to face crowds like that ever at any other time. You did a horrible job dealing with it this time, but you've learned from. Hopefully, you can take something from that, and the next time you're in that situation, which is certainly going to happen again at some point. Mm-hmm. Now you have a better handle on what maybe you could do. You could plan for whatever. So
I mean, towards the end of it, she was one of the few people I remember absolutely shutting down the crowd when she just did the woos, which was a kind of an awkward thing to do, but it worked.
I just felt like it was awkward and weird.
But it shut them up.
That's true.
I'm not saying that this was a great promo. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they should have expected the Bayley chance. I just think that I thought they would have come later. I was surprised by them myself. So I could see WWE being caught off guard with them at that point. I thought they would come later. Like I said, I guess I'm giving her a lot. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I'm giving her too much credit for getting this role this early, but I think she's doing an okay job with it. So
I think you make good points. How do you feel about Sasha being pushed aside?
Like I said, I think it's telling that she got the squash match. They know that they're still interested in keeping her in everybody's mind. They're just not ready to go to that program yet. I think they might be wanting to save it for SummerSlam. So this is the slowdown to doing it later. I mean, yeah, it's weird. It's weird that they didn't do the change at Mania, given how they focused on Sasha all through the week up to Mania.
Yeah, the diary, the big entrance, everything. It just seemed like the right thing to do. And then here they set up for, maybe that is what they're trying to do. They want to get to SummerSlam because we need to bridge the gap between those things. How do we do that? We'll build Sasha even more, and then we'll have Charlotte and Natalya do their thing. And we talked about it. It's funny. Roadblock. They had that great match.
Yep.
Best matches we've seen on the main roster have been Charlotte and Natalya, and they had acknowledged that.
They had great matches
in kayfabe
too, yeah.
In kayfabe, Natalya was like, "I've been your toughest challenge. Let's be real."
And I
what
like
she's actually saying is, "I've given you the best matches."
Yeah.
So
I kind of like the Natty character as she's sort of the gatekeeper / like mother figure of the women's
voice
locker
of reason.
room.
Yeah, they did that with Paige too. It's pretty cool that they've been.
I mean, it's a recurring character that isn't like crazy catty chick. It is, and it's not built on a man backing her up. Maybe I don't know if Brett was pretty. I mean, he was slamming them all week last week about everything. So I don't know if he's where they are with their relationship with him these days. Maybe he'll be back. I don't know.
The Bree stuff's weird.
Yeah,
the fact that no Lana stuff, no Bree stuff, Paige, all the other women are just kind of floating free, and we don't even know. Emma was in the ring, so she's still main roster. That's good to see. And who knows where that's going to go? But yeah, it was Sasha Squash Summer, and then there was that big little segment there to do that. Only other thing I think worth mentioning on the show is Xavier Woods.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to vote him for president. I'm going to write in vote for Xavier Woods because it's about the Austin thing. He's like, looking back,
yeah,
to admit, it was my fault.
I forgot. I forgot that actually because I think I was writing the Shane thing when they came out. So
and
I only heard it in one ear. Yeah.
And then he said, it's my fault. And then he went full hand stock. But it was lit, fam. I was like, oh shit, he went hand stock. Which, by the way, I hate myself.
Never go full hand stock.
Dude, I hate myself for having started that. I can't stop saying it, dude. I hate myself for it. And I feel like a moment will happen when I'll turn and I'll be like, I don't care. I'm lit, fam. And people are going to be like, who are you? Stop
you may also be
words.
a member of the New Day then with Bill Handstock.
I guess
an honorary New Day member.
I should just move to California to be among my people.
Exactly.
The lit fam.
You could just roam the streets of Los Angeles screaming, "It's lit, fam!" Just posted random pictures of like street corners, like, "Oh damn, look at this dude's hat, it's lit, fam."
That's a great gimmick, actually, to just like do some dumb shit and get beat up for it and be like, you know what? I gotta admit that was my fault. And then wait, but it was lit, fam. You should have went out with that, Sean.
I wasn't even on the right fucking screen. I was gonna go read your thing about the divas, the women. Damn it! That's how I've actually typed it and had to gone back. It's tough.
Had to gone back. You know who's not lit? You, fam.
Me, fam.